Mystical Manuscripts, and today we're going to be talking about our full moon in Pisces. So full moons are a time for illumination, for us to reveal the things that we've never seen before, and also it's a time for heightened spirituality and completion. When it's in Pisces, a very intuitive, very dreamy sign, it is also a sign that is very emotional and in tune with their emotions. We are likely to learn a lot of things about our emotions and our spiritual practices and intuitions during this time. For those of us that are already in the spiritual community and already does work with like spirit guides, ancestors, and other spirits like that, it can be an amazing time to really reconnect with your spirituality. For others, it can be a time to connect with their emotions. However, this is also an eclipse. It is a partial lunar eclipse lasting from the 17th to the 18th. And this means that it's not an option for you to be more in touch with your spirituality and emotions during this time. It's not an option. Events are going to happen around you that are going to force you in order to reconnect those things, in order to learn those new things about yourself. But remember not to be afraid, because this can be good or bad for a lot of us. So we're going to talk about some of the transits during this time, what it means for your rising sign, and some journal questions. So some transits that are happening during this full moon are the sun is still going to be squaring Jupiter from what we saw in our new moon video. So as the sun is squaring Jupiter, right, we are having some issues identifying with our goals and our successes. We might not feel particularly lucky at this time, or we may feel that we're running towards something and then we're honestly getting pushed back by the universe. But remember, always analyze, why are these challenges happening? Because there might be some theme that the universe is trying to let you know that you got to get over this one thing in order to move forward. So just pay attention to the themes of those challenges during this transit. Another transit that's happening is Venus is trying Jupiter. Now this can be very frustrating with the challenges. While Venus trying Jupiter is a great transit, you're going to be in love and you're going to love your goals and you're going to be like, wow, I'm going to be successful doing this thing that I love. The sun square the Jupiter though is going to make you feel like, oh, but there's something holding me back. There's like some type of doubt there. And it works with the full moon in Pisces because it's going to help you come in touch with your emotions, to maybe help you figure out why exactly do you feel those doubts towards your goals, okay? We're also going to have Mercury oppose Saturn during this time, so a lot of challenges are likely to come up with the way that you think. You may be thinking and bouncing all over the place. It may be hard for you to find discipline during this time, and once again, it's because we have a full moon in Pisces. Your emotions are likely going to be going everywhere, and your intellectual part of your brain is going to try to figure out what's going on. How are we going to pull all these things together? It may have a difficult time doing that. And the last transit that stands out to me is the sun is going to be opposing Saturn. So there's something that's happening with these challenges that are being posed to you, these disciplines that are being posed to you. The sun is opposing this, so you might feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do this routine, I don't want to be more disciplined. But pay attention, because Saturn, while it can be, harsh, it's also getting us where we need to be. It's pushing us through our challenges so that we could be more successful at the end of the day. And during this transit, we may just feel so overwhelmed, so done with Saturn and our challenges and discipline. We just want to have fun. And we actually see this a lot in the themes as we're going through the month of September. August was rough. The beginning of September is likely going to force you to really buckle down and like be more routine and be more disciplined and focus on your goals. And then towards the end of the month, you're like, I just want to have fun. Like, I'm tired of all this. So just keep in mind for all of those themes approaching this full moon in Pisces. Alright, so now let's get into what it means for our rising signs. So for our Pisces risings, we're going to be seeing this energy in our first house. So our first house of self-expression, appearance. During this time, you may feel a more spiritual or emotional connection or want to make a change around those themes regarding your appearance and the way that you express yourself. You may be wanting to be more emotional, come off more empathetic, or you might want to come off more dominant depending on the aspects in your chart. For Aquarius Risings, we're going to be seeing this full moon in your second house of finances, money, and foundations. So what this can look like is there can be some lingering emotional trauma that you have connected to money, okay? This full moon can help reveal some of those issues and force you to get more disciplined in the ways that you spend money. You know, you might be someone who spends money based on your emotions. You're sad, you buy something new. Okay, this full moon is going to be forcing you to kind of think about, is that something you really want long term? For Capricorn Risings, you're going to be seeing this in your third house of mental health, communication, and short-term travel. So there's going to be something in your communication that maybe you want to align more with your emotions. You might learn more about the way that you communicate empathy, the more you communicate with your siblings, and the more you communicate with travel. Okay, so some changes might be happening surrounding your siblings and the themes of the third house that are going to force you to be more emotional and intuitive, right? This could also look like being hurt by a sibling and coming into being like, you know what, I'm actually still hurt, I'm actually still mad. What can I do to release those themes? And that goes right into our Sagittarius risings. You're gonna be seeing this energy in your fourth house, the house of the mother, family, and foundations. Now this could be a harsh transit. I feel like harsh transits to the fourth house can always be a little rough depending on how you grew up and what planets you have in the fourth house. Either way, Pisces going into this for us, we may reveal something about our families, our mothers, and our foundations. We might think to ourselves like, oh, that's really how it was growing up, or my mom really said that and did that. Depending on the aspects and what planets you have in this house, it can look like that. If you don't have a lot of planets or issues with the fourth house, you can be having a more emotional, spiritual connection with your family, home life, and your mother. For Scorpio risings, you're going to be seeing this in your fifth house of creativity, romance, and children. So with Pisces here, you might be wanting to spice something up romantically, or you may want to have a more deeper connection with your creativity. You may be feeling a little bit more passionate about your goals and your dreams and wanting to really put that creativity in there. With this also being the house of the child, you may also be healing some childhood trauma that you need to get over. Something that really weighs on you emotionally and spiritually that you have to let go. For Libra Risings, you're seeing this in your sixth house of work, health, and routines. So with Pisces passing this house for you, it can look like you having an emotional change in your work, health, and routines. Something may happen which forces you to do something more for your health, do something more for your day-to-day routine, because maybe there's some energy where you haven't feel like you've been doing your emotions and your mental health justice. And there may be some changes there that are going to force you to be more connected to your emotions, even as you're working and you're working hard towards your goals. For Virgo risings, you're seeing this in your seventh house of romance, partnerships, and romantic relationships. This can be a big one. You might be learning something new about the way that you show love emotionally and spiritually. about your romantic partner and your romantic partner's emotions and their spirituality. Likely you're probably going to be going through more of an emotional change that may be causing you to change up how you feel about a partner. So watch out for that. For Leo risings, this is going to be in your 8th house of shared finances, trauma, and inheritance. So when Pisces or full moon is here, you may receive an inheritance. You may learn more about your trauma, and also you may have a more emotional connection to these things. I think with this full moon and the themes that are happening around it too, you may be wanting to release a lot of issues that you've had growing up as a kid due to trauma and inheritance. There may be some lingering money trauma, just like what we saw with Aquarius Risings, that you gotta like let go of. But you may be coming into an inheritance, you may be taking out a loan during this time, but there's definitely some things with money that you have to work out. It's definitely going to feel heavy for you to receive this, so just be careful. For Cancer risings, this is going to be in travel and philosophy, which is actually a pretty good place to see our full moon in Pisces pass, as you're likely going to be learning more about your religion and your philosophy. You might be using it to kind of free or release a certain aspect of yourself and your health. So look out for that, as I feel like you can have like a really big spiritual awakening. You also may be inclined to travel, or may have some type of travel outside of the country or domestically that is going to help you learn more about your emotions as well. For Gemini risings, you're seeing this in your 10th house of career and reputation. So you may be learning more about the ways that you feel about your career. I think that for this placement, you may find that you might be working really hard towards something that you don't actually want. And then it's going to help you realize, well, actually, okay, well, I want to do this instead. So look out for that, as I think that some of us could be falling more deeply in love with our careers, and then others of us may feel like, wow, like this is actually not what I want to do at all, okay? Your reputation, also be careful, because as the full moon is passing Pisces for this, people may see you as more emotional during this time. This is also the house of the father, so you may also be reconnecting with your father, having more of a connection with him, or you may be learning more about some father wounds that you've had in the past, especially Pisces being that pretty emotional sign. For Taurus risings, you're seeing this in the 11th house of friends and friendships. With Pisces passing through here, you are likely to feel more connected emotionally and spiritually to your friends. Your friends may be a part of your spiritual practice, or you guys may be going through a spiritual awakening together. So I think that's a pretty okay transit for you guys, depending on what planet you have in that house. But either way, I think you'll definitely have learned something new too. I will also say, like, be careful, because full moons help reveal secrets, and it might be revealing like something that happened with a friend, or like a friend that's been talking behind your back. So just be careful with that. And lastly, we have Aries rising, which is going to be in the 12th house of subconscious fears and also spirituality. Big spiritual awakening for you. Big emotional and spiritual, really big emotional and spiritual awakening for you guys. Definitely you becoming more in touch with your emotions, your subconscious, your traumas. You're likely to reach out to maybe like a new therapist or a psychologist, or you're learning more about your mental health or things that you may have brushed aside, okay? Some journal questions that we can use to help reflect on this full moon in Pisces are these 3 questions that I wrote down, channeled from the universe, okay? So our first question: what issues or themes are being brought to my attention? Okay, so remember, everyone's challenges likely have a theme. We all know that, right? For some people it may be the family. For other people it may be romance. For other people it may be career. We all know that friend that's always having relationship drama, always having family drama. People have themes of challenges, okay? What themes are showing up for you during this time, okay? It can give us insight about what we need to heal in our lifetime. Question number 2 is, how can I best show myself love during this time? Okay, this time is talking a lot about goals, a lot about structure, a lot about this, a lot about that. Like, yeah, like we'll get to it. But we also have to find ourselves feeling love for ourselves, okay? How can we take care of ourselves during this time? And don't say like a self-care routine. Say a self-care routine, and I'm gonna take myself out because I haven't took myself out in forever, and I'm going out with a friend because I haven't gone out with a friend in forever. Do you see what I mean? Like, don't just use it as self-care. Like, you can, of course, but put more effort into it, as all this energy during this time may not be forcing us to love ourselves and maybe forcing us to like get to work and things like that. And our last question is, if I achieve my dream life, what would it look like? Okay, if we're going to be feeling this discouraged energy and we're going to be feeling so emotional and we're going through all this trauma healing, there has to be a purpose, right? So what does that look like for you? Okay, what is the end goal of all your challenges and all your dreams? If you had your dream life, what does it look like? So if you like this video, please like this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.